Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It is your boy, the SMT. We're going to be doing some testing here. This one is a special edition of, well, I guess we'll call it Speed with Sneed. I don't know if it's really about the speed per se, like it's not about the peak speeds or anything like that. What I wanted to do is a little bit of, speed testing and network access testing for N41 on T-Mobile, and just some overall testing of the network. What I really want to, look into is how is the T-Mobile network configured on sites that have, say for example, all the different LTE bands and then all of the different 5G bands. So what I'm connected here is N41. Ping time at 34 millisecond, downlink at 168, uplink at 48. So the ping is very average. The downlink is pretty good at 168. The uplink is very good, at that speed. Honestly, the downlink for that particular bandwidth, so we're at 60 megahertz of N41, so that speed's not that great. It's good for LTE. It's not impressive for 5G, especially at a 60 megahertz channel of N41. So I'm a little surprised to see it this slow, because everybody's always talking about how great N41 is, and it's got this great capacity. I'm just not seeing it here at this site. I visited this site a couple of weeks ago, I'd say maybe 3 weeks ago. I thought maybe it needed some time to be, reconfigured and optimized a little bit better. So, I wanted to come back and revisit it at a later time. Maybe some things had been fixed or optimized better. All right, so you can see we've got 10 megahertz of band 2. We've got 60 megahertz of N41 there. All right, so it's definitely the 5G variation of 2.5 gigahertz. Again, like I was saying, the downlink at 200 megabits, 168, that's nothing to write home about. There's just nothing special about it. The uplink is nice, 40 plus megabits is pretty good. The latency is not great, 35 is very average. I don't know. I'm going to continue to do some testing here. The speed does pick up just a smidge there. I don't know. Maybe my expectations aren't realistic. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this is where it should be. I feel like it should be a little bit faster. I understand it's still early in the development and the deployment of the N41. I just expected a little bit more. I see a lot of speed test people showing 600 and 500 and even 400, and I'm just not seeing this. And I've tested it at a few different sites. Simply, it's not happening at the sites here in the CLA. I don't know what the situation is. I can't really figure it out. Anyways, to give you an idea of where I'm testing, I'm near a shopping mall. You can see the lot's pretty empty. Not many people at the mall. A lot of segments of the mall have been closed, but it's on an apartment complex, and that's a high rise. I think it's got like at least 20 stories, right? So it's a pretty big building. I'm gonna try to get an inside look here. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. I had a hard time with the camera software. I don't know. That's the Moto Edge Plus filming, just so you guys know. So you can see the 2.5 gigahertz. You can see that panel up there, that antenna. You'll see some low band next to it. You'll see some mid band on the opposite side. This site has band 12, band 66, and band 2 on the LTE side. It also has 5 megahertz of band 71. For 5G, it's got 15 megahertz of N71 and 60 megahertz of N41. It also has 20 megahertz of LT41, just so you know what's going on there. So I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 600 or 700 feet. I'm definitely under 1,000 feet away from the site. It's really just not that far. I don't know. You guys in the comment section, tell me. Look, I'm not trying to complain about 240 megabits per second. I'm just saying I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing. I don't know. Is it the engineering team here? Is it the hardware here? Is it possible it's congestion here? I just don't know how many people have N41 compatible phones here just yet. Now, I did do a fast.com just for kicks and giggles. It tested pretty fast. That was good. I usually don't see that. I usually, it'll kind of surge up real high, and then it gets throttled down to like 1.8 megabits per second. So this was kind of cool to see. For those of you that are wondering why I'm testing fast.com, fast.com is, a speed test that runs through Netflix servers. So it gives you a good idea of what a carrier will give you for video resolution playback. So if you're watching, HD video or full HD, you're going to need a certain amount of bandwidth to do that. Typically, with certain plans, you might be throttled down to like 1.5 or 2 megabits per second, you might only be able to do 480p without buffer. So this is why this particular testing is important, and this is why I do it. So typically I do get throttled and slowed for video resolution playback, so it was kind of nice to see that wasn't happening here. I don't know. It's inconsistent. I mean, usually I get throttled, but anyways, I did want to share that with you all and kind of show you what's going on that side. What I'm going to do is, in the last half of this video, I'm actually going to switch things up. I'm going to change up the access. So for those of you that want to do this, you can go into the the system settings of your connections, and you can control the bands using the selector, or you can use Samsung band selector. There's an app for it. Anyways, what you could do is you can disable certain bands. So in this particular one, you could see all the NR bands are selected. What you could do is you can turn off 5G. You can just enable LTE, which is what I'm doing here. So I disabled all the 5G stuff and I enabled all of the LTE stuff, and then you hit apply, you back out, and you should be good to go. You can go ahead and run your speed test. You'll see this is kind of annoying. 5G's been turned off. The icon still shows. So T-Mobile's on some BS. They're playing some games with the icons. 5G has been disabled. It still shows the 5G icon. Anyway, here is a speed test on LTE only. So here's what this tells me. If you are a resident of a place that has N41, the question is, should you upgrade to an N41 compatible phone? Should I upgrade to a 5G phone? The answer is yes. If you have N41 in your area, I would, especially if it's on several sites. If it's in clusters, 100% do it, because the speed upgrade is definitely worth it. So if I was just LTE only, band 71 and whatever else is available, those are the type of speeds you're going to get, right? In the 20s and the 30s. It's possible you got some decent configurations of aggregations, PCS, AWS, band 2, 66, stuff like that. You might see like the 60s and 80s and 100. But clearly the N41 has its advantages. There's just more bandwidth and less people on it, and it's worth it to switch to. Now you'll see the latency dropped on the LTE side. It went down to 19 millisecond ping. So, and yeah, you'll see that I'm all LTE here. All right, 5 megahertz of band 71. That's a problem. That's not very good. So they got 15 megahertz on N71, and then they have 5 megahertz on LTE 71. All right, so that's what you can expect to get, best case scenario, on LTE band 71. That's pretty much it. Not great, it's not a lot of capacity there. I call them skinny channels, right? There's just not a lot of bandwidth on that channel. Let's go ahead and let's try some other stuff. Let's do some more testing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my menu, and I'm going to switch the bands, and I'm going to focus on some other stuff. So I just did, LTE, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to disable band 71. So now if you have an older phone that doesn't have band 71, so like 2017-ish phone, maybe you have an older iPhone or a Galaxy that predates the band 71 600 megahertz compatibility, here's what you can expect to see. I'm guessing I'm going to connect to probably band 2, probably band 66, maybe band 12 as well. But you'll see it's kicking. Midband is tremendous. You'll see I still get over 100 megabits per second. So what T-Mobile wants to do is they want you on band 71 as much as possible. So if you have a 600 megahertz LTE phone, or if you have a 600 megahertz 5G phone, they want you connected on that. They're going to default you there, right? So and the reason for that is all the legacy tech, they're going to be all on those other LTE bands. So that's how they're going to kind of do things. So you'll see that the speed testing, clearly there's more capacity when you can aggregate more carriers that are non-band 71, right? So the band 71 by itself is not very good. It's just a skinny channel. It's 5 megahertz. The other stuff, you're probably getting like 15, 20 megahertz of AWS and 15 or 20 megahertz of PCS, and you're probably getting an additional 5 megahertz of band 12, right? So yeah, that's obviously wider channels aggregating together is going to get you much more speed. All right, so you'll see I'm definitely connected to LTE.
you know, and this is what you're getting if you've got an older LTE phone compared to Band 71, which is crazy. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what's going on at this particular site. It's got N41, it's got N71, it's got all the LTE stuff in there, and honestly, I don't know. If I was going to kind of conclude what this testing showed me, the N41 is okay. It's not great. I think what's happening here is, simply put, T-Mobile needs to continue to optimize the network, add more and more sites with N41, and really densify, and then figure out what they're doing with the Band 71 situations. I think the network's going to look different very soon. We'll have to see. We'll continue to track this in the future. That just about does it for this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to give this video a like and share it to all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, consider becoming a subscriber if you'd like more from the SMT, and activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload and you'll be the first to know when something does hit the YouTubes. Also, we've got items in the description box. We've got a Discord server. The @SneedTech Twitter handle is there, and there's ways to donate and support SMT creation. That pretty much does it for today. Thank you so much for being here again. Hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next video. Peace.